Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any media. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. I'd like to address the first item on the agenda and request a motion to nominate a chairperson to the licensing board.
I would like to make a motion to nominate Tim McCoy as chairperson to the licensing board.
And I will second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. New chairperson takes over the meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Esposito. Thank you, everybody.
It's a pleasure to
Thank you,
have
Carrie.
Congratulations.
And if I could ask you all, bear with me. If for some reason I'm speaking too quietly, yell, ask me to speak up. This is, well, it's not my first rodeo on the board. It's certainly my first rodeo as chair. So I welcome you all here tonight. And to carry on with business, we'll go to item number 2, which is a transfer of all alcohol common victualers license, pledge of inventory, pledge of license, pledge of stock. Gentlemen, if you could please state your name and provide an address, please.
My name is William Farrer. I live at 81 Arizona Street here in Fall River.
Welcome, William.
Thank you.
My name is Attorney Matthew Burke. I have an office here at 120 Purchase Street, Fall River, Mass. I represent Mr. Farrar.
Mr. Burke, you might as well kick it off if you can state your business.
Yeah, very briefly, just a straight transfer of a liquor license. St. James, which is located right up the street at 91 Purchase Street, is owned by St. James Irish Pub, Inc. My client, Mr. Farrar, and Mr. Medley, who's sitting behind me in the second row, Matthew Medley, have formed a corporation, Medley and Farrar, Inc. They are purchasing the assets, the license, the inventory from St. James Irish Pub, Inc. Mr. Farrar has been working there, I believe, since 2007. He's been the assistant manager. Mr. Medley, who's sitting in the second row, has been in the business, the restaurant kitchen business, for approximately 20 years also. The license right now is in the name of Ronald Travassos. We're here just to transfer that license into Mr. Farrar. Same, it's going to be the same hours of operation. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that really is going to change is the hat that Mr. Farrar is going to be wearing is now going to be, hopefully, with your permission, the manager of the license.
Okay, Mr. Burke, so we have no renovations going on, no moving of the bar, no changing of seating capacity,
Nothing.
no hourly changes. I'm sorry, Bill, when did you say you started working?
I started there doing the door in 2007. I became the bartender a year after that, and I've been the manager for 7 or 8.
He's got the experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Detective Modis, any?
All reports were favorable.
Thank you, thank you. Any, Carrie, do you know of any zoning issues, pending zoning issues, anything of that nature?
Nope, that's it.
I believe, and Carrie, our clerk, can correct me if I'm wrong, would this take 4 motions, the license, the
Yes.
inventory, the
Yeah.
pledge of license,
Right.
And
the
the
transfer,
manager.
and the pledge of stock,
And the
Yes.
manager as well.
Oh,
and the
yes.
manager? So 5?
I forgot about the manager. Okay.
Okay, so on the first matter, the chair would entertain a motion if this board desires.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of the all alcohol common victualers license.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito and seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the pledge of the inventory.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cudero. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion for the pledge of license, to approve the pledge of the license.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cudero. All in favor?
Aye. And the last one
Motion
is,
passes.
the last one is the pledge of stock. Make a motion to approve the pledge of the stock.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cudero. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion passes, and we do need a fifth for the manager.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the new manager.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cudero. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And I believe that completes our business with item number 2, Madam Clerk.
It does, yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, and
Appreciate
thank
it.
you for putting me
Thank
first,
you.
Miss Ash.
Thank you.
Anything on
Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Item number 3, one-day permit, Santa Cristo Parish, 185 Canal Street. I believe there's 2
Yes.
one-day permits.
Correct.
Gentlemen, welcome. Could you please state your name and offer an address?
My name is Father Jeffrey Cabral. I'm the pastor of Santa Cristo Parish, mailing address of 185 Canal Street, church located on Columbia Street.
Eric Rodrigues, 278 Whipple Street, Florida, Mass.
Whipple, thank you, gentlemen. Welcome, welcome. It would appear we have a pretty routine request. I imagine this is for the annual feast.
Yes, so as you know, Santa Cristo has our annual feast, usually on the full last weekend of June. And we've never really served alcohol before, but we wanted to try something new, and then the pandemic hit. And so our request got delayed by a few years, but we are hoping that to apply for this 2 one-day licenses, just to carry a couple of beers and
Wine.
wine.
I'm assuming we're gonna have police detail also?
Yes.
Or should I?
Yes, in the past, we've always had at least 1 police detail, but I understand if we do get the alcohol license, that we have to have at least 2 police detail.
All right. Detective Monis, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, I think we're good.
They don't, she doesn't need to give them a
Nothing at all.
referral,
I
as
didn't
long as
want her to
they
make sure.
Make sure the
Okay.
PD, sure.
Would this board like to entertain a motion? Do we need to
Yeah.
take each day separately?
Please.
So we have our 2 dates there, Mrs. Esposito, on the agenda.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the one-day permits for June 25th, 2020, and June 26th, 2020.
Excuse me, just a moment.
22.
Would you mind just
22,
stating the
yeah.
times? Would you mind just stating the times that they've requested that?
Oh, yes. the time.
It's in the file, thank you, no worries.
22.
Oops, sorry about that. It looks like we have Saturday, June 25th, 8 PM to midnight. That's the date of the event. I see no other time on there, Kerry.
That's it, yep, and then the next day as well.
Okay, and then Sunday, June 26th, 6 PM to 10 o'clock.
Correct.
Correct, gentlemen? So if we could start from scratch, Mrs. Esposito, on the first date, June
Okay.
25th,
Yep.
2022.
I'll make a motion to approve June 25th, one-day permit for June 25th, 2022, and for June 26th, 2022.
Okay, so why don't we take the first date, the first motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cudero, Saturday, June 25th, 2022, 8 PM to midnight. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No. The ayes have it. And we have a first day permit. If we could move to the second date, please?
The second date, make
If
a
we could
motion
just
to approve.
restate.
Yep.
So the second date, one-day permit, Sunday, June 26, 2022, 6 PM to 10 PM. Ms. Cordero, do you wish to second?
Yes, I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes for one-day permit, Sunday, June 26th, 6 PM to 10 PM.
Yep.
Kerry, any additional from our
Nope, that's it.
gentlemen?
We're good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Appreciate it. Item number 4, do we have anyone here? Item number 4, common victulars, Puerto and Ekva Restaurant. Hopefully I pronounced that properly, 927 Stafford Road.
It's her moment to shine. She is ready. She took mom's seat and everything.
Hi, my name is Gina Estrella. My address is 28 Grinnell Street, apartment 2, Fall River, Mass. 02721.
Welcome, Gina. Gina, I am aware, just because of the neighborhood, that there is something there now, I believe. I don't know if it's a restaurant, breakfast place.
Restaurant too.
Are you currently affiliated with the business that's there now?
No.
You are not?
So this is a new?
Yeah, it's a new.
Okay, so news, I didn't know if you, like the previous situation that we had, you're not a current employee or?
No.
Okay. What are your plans for what are your plans here then for the business?
I'm trying to open 5:30 in the morning to sell breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and close 11.
11 p.m.?
11 PM? So 5:30 AM to 11 PM?
Yes.
How many days a week?
Monday to Sunday.
Monday to Sunday, so every day, 5:30 to 11. God bless you.
That's right.
Do you plan any renovations to the existing site?
Nothing.
So the site will function as is, correct? I mean, again, no
No
changes in
Nothing.
the site, no construction going on,
Nothing.
nothing to that effect.
I just have a question.
Sure, please.
For the seating, how many people?
40.
It'll seat 40 people?
Yes.
Okay.
Before asking Detective Monis for input, I should ask, and I apologize, I failed to ask earlier, do we have any opponents or proponents for this particular matter, item number 4? Anyone here to speak for or against this matter? Detective Monis, have we had an opportunity to do any sort of a,
No, not at the moment. I still want to report needed.
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry,
there's not a report yet at
Okay.
this point.
Oh,
okay.
so we have to approve it pending?
Any sort of approval would be
Yeah.
made pending a positive
Favorable,
police
right.
report.
Okay. Okay.
Would you be willing to make a motion again? Any other
Yeah.
questions of the board, Melanie?
No
Any
questions.
questions? Would you be willing to make a
Yeah.
motion to that effect?
Yes. Yes. I'll make a motion to approve the common victular's license pending a favorable police report. So once we get the police report, then
Once I get it,
favorable, yes.
either way, good or bad, I'll call you and let you know what we do next. You'll be able to pick up the license, okay, if
Okay.
it's favorable, so
Okay.
we're just holding for a little bit.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes, I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cordero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Estrella, for your
Thank you.
time.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Item number 5, change of hours, Dunny Saloon, 13 North Main Street. Chris Donovan. Hi, Chris.
How are you?
If you could state your name and address for the record.
Chris Donovan, 132 Albion Street, Fall River, Mass.
Thank you, Chris. And can you state your business? I believe it's a change. I know it
Dunny
involves St.
Saloon.
Patrick's Day and,
And adding Mondays.
Oh,
Okay, so it looks like on Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, you're looking to open at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it beginning April 4th? Am I reading this correctly?
Yep, that's the first Monday.
Okay,
Of the
and
month.
you're requesting to open on Monday, so you're currently closed on Monday?
Yep.
And this is due to increased food and food sales and food requests?
Yeah, a lot of Uber and Uber Eats and all that stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's just change of
Do,
hours.
do strictly a change of hours. Do we have any opponents or proponents of this particular request of the board?
Okay.
Hearing none, anything we need to add on your end, Ms. Clerk? Would the board entertain making a motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the change of hours.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion to approve.
So motion made to change hours by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion passes. Thank you, Chris, and
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I think. From what I understand, and I will defer to the clerk, at the request of the applicants, is that accurate?
Yeah.
Items 6 and
Their
7?
attorney, correct.
Have been, or they request to table it at least till March at this point. I believe we still need a motion from this board, and obviously we'll take the matters separately. I won't ask for, since we will not be making any decision on either item, I won't ask if there's any input from the public tonight on these two matters. So could I get a motion on item number 6?
I'll make a motion to approve the, to table this till March 23rd, which is the next meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Can we get a motion on item number 7?
I'll make a motion to table till March 23rd. Table this transfer.
No, I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Esposito to transfer license pledge of collateral, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And we'll move on to item number 8, extension of hours Haboob Club. Gentlemen?
Good evening.
Good evening. If you could state your name and offer an address.
I'm George Elcory, 2135 Grand Army Highway, Swansea, Mass.
And George, I believe it's an extension of hours. Can you outline what you're looking to do for us?
We're basically just looking to extend the hours on Friday night and Saturday night from midnight.
Midnight to 1 o'clock?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Corey, it has come to my attention due to an incident back in November, and obviously we're not here tonight passing judgment on that incident, but apparently there is a show cause hearing that needs to be scheduled.
Okay.
And as you can see, obviously, due to the transition here, it was not possible to schedule that show cause hearing for this particular meeting.
Okay.
I believe it's the will of the clerk to schedule that for the March meeting.
Yes.
And then, once we have that show cause hearing, we can then make a decision on your request from the board to extend the hours for those two nights.
Would it be at the same time or the previous to the?
Madam Clerk, is it possible?
Well, yeah, we can put it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll deal with it all in one
time.
All in one visit in March. We'll handle all matters, the show cause hearing.
Okay.
And upon the completion of this show cause hearing, we can deal with your request here and the extension of hours for the 2 nights.
Fair enough.
Madam Clerk, we need a formal motion, though, to table until March, this
Yes,
particular
please.
matter?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to table this item until the next meeting, which is March 23rd.
I'll second the motion.
So, motion made to table the request for extension of hours made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cordero. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes, and we'll see you in March, Mr.
Thank you for
Corey.
your time.
Thank you. All right, moving on to old business / new business. if we could have the July Friends Lounge doing business as Cornerstone, 222 to 226 East Main Street. Mr. De Silva, represented by Mr. Frank, if you could obviously state your name for
Certainly,
the record and address.
Mr. Chairman, congratulations.
Thank you,
For the
sir.
record, my name is Arthur Frank. I'm a lawyer with an address of 209 Bedford Street, Fall River, Massachusetts, and I represent your petitioner, the July Friends Lounge, Inc. The principals are with me here, Mr. Da Silva. We've been here for quite a few meetings, and the big issue that we needed to surmount was parking, off-street parking. The zoning code of Fall River, section 86-441, requires that new restaurants have at least one space per each 4 seats of total seating capacity and a loading space. When we were here in January, I presented the board with evidence from the owner of a vacant parcel across the street from this location that Mr. De Silva has under agreement. I think he's even paid her in advance for 12 months for parking. It was the board's pleasure at that time for us to produce a parking plan, and I did submit that to your clerk earlier today. It's a 2-sheet plan. The first sheet is for the parking, the second sheet is for the restaurant occupancy. If you take a look at that sheet, the seating capacity is going to be 96, which means we need 24 parking spaces off-street, and that's what we've been able to come up with at this property that is right across the street from the proposed restaurant. And obviously, if this board looked favorably on it, we would have to do some site work to get that parking spaces lined and set up in a orderly manner so that they could be utilized by the patrons.
Okay. Attorney Frank, does Mr. De Silva in his possession have, I saw the certified letter from the neighbor, do we have an actual lease executed and signed?
That writing constitutes a written enforceable lease. The owner signed it. She is the owner of the property. Her signature was notarized. It set forth the terms. Other than, asking for somebody to do a boilerplate lease up, I think she's had some health issues with her husband and hasn't really been available to see a lawyer to do that.
Okay.
But he's paid. He has already prepaid for 12 months for the right to use that parking lot.
Okay. Was there an additional site plan submitted as far as the seating and occupancy? Because the one that I'm familiar with, I believe, had 160
This is the most current
seats
one.
at the property.
That's the one that I sent Ms. Ayash earlier today.
Okay.
Page 2 is the seating plan.
So it's fair to say that the board did not receive this with their agenda pack for tonight's meeting, obviously.
I don't know if it was able to be disseminated.
Because they usually receive it, obviously, several days before. Before I ask if we have input from citizens' input tonight, either in favor or opposed, I think we're all aware of the, and I can let Detective Modis elaborate, but we do have an unfavorable
Well, you had a favorable
report
one.
from the police.
There was a favorable report, and then it changed to unfavorable. I do have the correspondence from the ABCC. We made note on his application that he was cited for a COVID violation in 2020, I believe it was. That was later overturned by the ABCC. It was overturned in 2021. The ABCC wanted him to submit a plan to the Department of Labor and Standards, and he did submit that. And on January 12, 2021, the Department of Labor and Standards reviewed his COVID-19 control plan, and they determined it to be satisfactory. That is the only violation that was on record in the city of Brockton, where his other establishment exists. But it was overturned by the ABCC, and the Department of Labor Standards signed off on his COVID plan, and he has been in compliance since then.
Detective Moniz, could you add in the position of the Fall River Police Department?
Yes.
In the chief's position?
There were some concerns when I was asked last to look into Mr. De Silva's history with managerial business ownership. And there were a couple things that had come up that were concerning for the chief. One in particular was a licensing board meeting regarding his business prior to ownership with the previous owner. When he sat as the manager, there were some things that came up during the meeting that were a little unsettling for the chief, which is why he felt that moving forward, he was a little leery about putting in a favorable request for this. If you'd like me to elaborate, I certainly can.
I've seen the report.
Okay.
It evidently had something to do with a civil action or a contemplated civil action. And I've never known this board to get involved in outstanding or contemplated civil lawsuits when trying to decide if someone is a suitable candidate for a license. This gentleman is well respected in the city of Brockton. He has the support of the administration there, from what I understand. He has invested quite a bit of money in this location in Fall River because he feels that Cape Verdean cuisine is not adequately represented here, and he's prepared to continue and invest money in the city and open this establishment and try to make something of it. But as far as this board speculating as to civil actions, I don't think that's a realistic grounds to deny somebody.
Do you have anything to add?
I'm just the messenger. I mean, this is
I know.
information that's been relayed, obviously, to you. This is something I've sat down and I've spoken with the chief in regards to, and he feels very stern on how he feels, unfortunately.
Attorney Frank, do you know if because I truly don't know, I believe a site visit was attempted. Do you know if that was completed or if the prior chairman was able to, view the lounge/restaurant, get into the building?
We never went in that day.
Never went in that day?
Nope.
Okay. Do we have any questions from fellow board members?
No, none at this time.
I'll open it up to anyone who would like to speak on the matter. I understand neighbors have submitted petitions against, and if you'd like to speak, you can stand up if you wish, right where you are. If you can announce your name and address for the record, if you choose to, if you want to come down.
Thomas Corey, my home address 389 Stafford Road here in Fall River. My business address is 246 East Main Street. I have submitted a letter to the board previously. We submitted petitions to the board previously. We're very concerned about the parking in the neighborhood. We're concerned about the late hours in the neighborhood. And we weren't here last month, but Carlos Caesar spoke very well last month, very eloquently, about how some addresses just attract problems. And we feel, I've been the proprietor, well, I've been at Standard Pharmacy in October, it'll be 34 years. I've been the proprietor since 2006. All of us who live in the neighborhood remember those days of the late nights and the broken bottles and the vomit we'd have to clean up in the morning, and the noise. Mr. Marks lives in the neighborhood, Mr. Kurt lives in the neighborhood, Debbie lives, she would be adjacent to the parking area. That site has always been a problem site. And when the bar closed down, whatever it was 12 years ago, and the bar next door closed down, and of course the city invested in the East Main Street project, we've had a lot of new businesses move in, and people don't fear walking down East Main Street anymore. And we just feel another bar, late night, originally I believe the request was till 1 in the morning. Last call on East Main Street is not a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Joseph Marks, and I live at 17 Wilbur Street.
Wilbur, Mr. Barnes?
Wilbur.
Yep.
But prior to that, 37 years ago, I lived right next to that bar. Used to be a bar, okay? And opened up as a lounge with a lot of trouble there. I lived right next door. I used to work in Canton, Mass. And I could not sleep at night to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Because the bands would play over there till 1 o'clock at night. Come out, I couldn't come out of my driveway with cars. They used to lay there drunk, leave the cars outside in the parking lots across my driveway. Then I moved out of there, and I went to live on 17 Wilbur Street, but I live now for 37 years. Even there, after I lived there, when that opened up as a lounge, which was the last one, it was nothing but trouble. Noise, prostitution up on East Main Street, plenty of it, prostitution's going on, okay? You couldn't even be able to walk at night on East Main, and the way I feel, we have enough bars around here. We already dealt with above Age of One, which was a nightclub. We lived with one in the corner of Globe and South Main. We got Paul's Bar. We got one farther down on the corner of, I believe, Dwelly or I think it's Dwelly Street. There's one bar there. We had one on the corner farther down on South Main Street and East Main, next to the 24-hour store. I think it's too many bars, too many things to be open over there till 1 o'clock at night, because they're not just may come out. There's cigarette buttons everywhere. There's broken bottles everywhere because they go in, they drink before they go in, so they don't spend too much money on the bar. They used to go to the nightclub on Asia 1 on South Main Street, and they used to come to their cars on Palmer and leave the bottles and the nipples and everything on my wall in front of my house. I lived over there guaranteed for over 40 years with nothing but bars. It was Rendezvous. I forgot the name of that with this last lounge that opened there, but it used to be owned by the owner of the Rendezvous, which closed down, sold the license to Paul, but most of the trouble was before that. But believe me, it was a lot of trouble, because at that time, that gas station, well, it was a gas station many years ago, 53 years ago, it was a Snorkel station. But then it was a parking lot for Bob's Garage, which I know them for years. They never parked there. They used to go park on this property without his authorization, and even if they open that parking lot bigger to accommodate more vehicles in there, guess what? My house is almost across the street from it. Her house is right next door from it. They're going to be leaving that place late at night, turning cars on, talking, yelling and screaming, which is all of that comes true. And we are like scalded cats afraid of cold water, that old neighborhood, because if we think it's too many, we've been hitting too many times with bars around there and lounges and everything. I mean, I have nothing against Mr. Silva, absolutely nothing. Nothing against him. It's a nice property now and everything, nice property, but we are afraid of what could come after that. Because we know we're going to open up, guaranteed it's a lounge, there's going to be music in it. That's to begin with it, right there and then. And that's where it starts. If I'm in my house with my windows open on the summer, I can hear the music inside of that place. And I live on Wilbur Street, which is, I don't know, 400 feet, 300 feet. Maybe less than that. And I lived right next door. I lived at 210 East Main on the third floor when that happened. It's tough, you know. And back then I had little kids and everything, you know? That's where my kids was brought up, and little born there too. And I think the police goes back beyond, you know, like my time, they're gonna find stuff on there.
Got it, Mr. Marks. Is there, are you through? Are you all set?
Yes.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak for or against?
I'm sorry, I have my turn here. My name's Emily Hall. I live
Yep.
at 422 Reading Street in Fall River.
Okay.
I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Broadband Redevelopment Authority. I'm also the President and Director of Prava, which is a local nonprofit in downtown Brockton who hosts a pop-up beer garden in the middle of downtown Brockton. So I'm very familiar with everything that you guys are feeling as residents and that unsafe feeling. It is my job, and I am trained and do it very well in making cities exactly like Brockton and like Fall River able to have these places that are coming back to life and in different ways. I understand and respect the past history of how things have gone poorly before, and the fact that there needs to be a time and place and an effort to change things. I have worked very personally with his business over the years. I have spent my summer nights in his business, and he's a good business owner, and if you need to be able to hear the residents and also say, okay, you don't want to hear 1 o'clock in the morning? There's noise restrictions, by the way. I know that there's ordinances for that, so there's noise levels. So if those aren't being met, there's phone calls that are made, and I know if it's annoying, but things will be changed, and if you want to start out till 11 and then see how it goes, but to punish him over past business owners' discretions is not quite rightful. And there is a civil suit against him as a manager, not even as a business owner, but we can bypass that one for a minute. I'm just here to speak to the fact that I have worked with him as a business owner in a downtown that's similar to this. We have had no issues with him. We've been able to come to terms on things. We've been able to work well together. He's reasonable and fair, and I will say it is far less a bar and far more a restaurant. We go in there for lunch. I would have drinks there after our Prava at night, but at the same, it's tables. There's literally 3 seats at the bar, and there's tables in there, and there's tables to the point where there's no dance floor. It's not, even though the lounge is attached to his company head name, it's not a lounge. If you want to laugh about it, you can go to his business before you judge him as a business owner and what type of place it is. I'm not sure what your basis is on why you think he can't be a respectable business owner and why it's not a restaurant. His food is very good. The Cape Verdean food that's in Brockton is very good, and it is something as a now Fall River resident that is not around here. And so I would hate to see an opportunity not be given over past issues with business owners. And a street that I have walked and been around, and there are a ton of vacant storefronts there, and I don't think that that's also what you want down there. And I understand that people live there, but the way it's designed is to be commercial and residential, and if you don't like that, then you shouldn't live in that type of area. But it is zoned and built to be commercial and residential, and that's, if you don't like that, then the zoning law should change. But a business owner who is in the right and who was already established as that is not at fault here and should not be punished for those things.
Thank you.
If I can add to
I
that.
understand the current applicant cannot necessarily be tagged with the sins of the past, so the board does understand. Mr. Kurt, maybe, and then this young lady in front?
Yes. Brian Kurt, 118 East Main Street. Look, I'm sure I know the board's seen the neighborhood. It's a mixed neighborhood. This isn't a straight business area. And that's why everybody is saying what they're saying. To stay open until 1 o'clock in the morning for a restaurant, I don't usually eat at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's the issue everybody is concerned about, because it is a mixture. If you look at it, some of the old business fronts have been turned into apartments. So there's a heavy mix of residential. It's not just straight business. And that's where everybody's coming from. This gentleman mentioned about what happened in the past. I've lived there in that neighborhood for 67 years, ever since I was born. So I remember what it was like, and I understand. I'm not going to beat this gentleman up for what happened in the past, but he's asking for 1 o'clock in the morning in a residential area, and that's where everybody's got pain with. So, pay attention to that part of it, and the fact that it's a mixed-use neighborhood, and look at it that way, and not just what he's done in Brockton, because I don't know the neighborhood, how the neighborhood is where he is in Brockton. I only know East Main Street. So the hours of the deal, you know, because like I said, I'm hearing it's supposed to be a restaurant, but restaurants don't usually open till 1 in the morning. They're usually closed up long before that. And, you know, in the last call, you know, that's the issue I have. And that's all, that's what, I'll end right there and let the other way
Thank
go.
you.
Thank you.
Miss?
Deborah Ferrera, 100 Palmer Street. My property actually abuts where this parking is going to be. Is there any chance that we can get a look at that parking situation?
Well, I imagine any document filed is a
Oh,
public
absolutely.
document,
Public record,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's public record, so you will be able to, yes.
Because I'd like to know how close that's going to be to my driveway. And speaking to you, I find it odd that you would tell someone that has lived in a neighborhood for 33, 53, 67 years, if you don't like the zoning laws, move, like.
I didn't say to leave or move. I said that address the zoning laws, not the business owner who's trying to open within that zoning law.
Well, you know what, I've been there for 33 years, and that business, every April and May, June, July, August, September, when we could have our windows open, we dreaded it because you couldn't sleep. I had 2 little ones at home. We couldn't get them to sleep because of the noise. We have more video than you can shake a stick at from when this bar has been open and closed. If you want to close at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, do whatever you want over here. But 1 o'clock
10 o'clock.
is not going to work for us. We've done it, we're sick of it, and we don't want it.
Frank, I think your client, Mr. Frank, I think your client wants to speak.
I just want to reiterate some points for the chairman's benefit, because this is his first meeting on this petition. That neighborhood is zoned local business, and what that means is that a restaurant is a use allowed as a matter of right, to the exclusion of residences that are now considered pre-existing, non-conforming uses. And the second point is that we're not applying for a license to run a bar or a saloon where food is not prepared on site. His application is for an all-alcoholic restaurant license. I mentioned to the board at one of the previous meetings that the hours that we originally talked about on November the 30th were not to be chiseled in stone. They were placeholders. And if this board is at all inclined to grant us this license, even if they want to do it on a probationary basis, we can live with hours of less than what I described on November 30th.
The initial hours requested were?
Tuesday to Thursday, 9 a.m., 1 a.m., Friday to Saturday, 9 a.m., 2 a.m.
Attorney Frank, I'm sorry, slow.
I'm sorry, Mr. McCoy. Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. That was what I originally mentioned, but in speaking with Mr. De Silva, he can live with less than those numbers.
Are you finished? Mr. De Silva, would you like to speak?
Like everybody been saying, like I'm concerned about like a sound. Those people didn't even see the building. The buildings that renovated on 2018, it's all soundproof, and it's running for the bottom to the top, all soundproof. And whatever they say, like 37 years ago, I was like young guy. Then right now, because things happened 37 years ago, 40 years ago, they're gonna stop me to operate my business there. They already invested almost $1 million in the city. Then I don't have no problem with my license. All my records clean. Just because guy's gonna deny my application just because neighborhood doesn't want it. And I don't see it as a fair because the neighborhoods don't concern about, doesn't want to meet the open business there. And she's the one being concerned about parking lot. And the owner of the property already rent me the parking lot. It doesn't mean because she live behind the property, she can't rent me the parking lot. Because this is not my problem. So I want to discuss this with the property owner. She already re-agreement on me. She already rent me. I've been spending like $18,000 so far for this license cost for just $3,000. That I put more money in this building that never see the result. I don't think it's fair for me that I keep spending money. And the property is a commercial building. They know it's all designer restaurant. Everybody knows about that. I don't know why the people's being concerned because when I invest money in anything, I try to bring positive vibe for the neighborhood, try to make the neighborhood happy, all this. I don't bring negative vibe for things I spend my money on it because I know sooner or later they're going to shut the door down and I'm going to lose my money. Those people, they don't even know me. They don't know what I'm doing to spend my money, to invest money in the city. It's just all a return I bring to the city of Fall River. I can invest money in a different city because I live right on Somerset. I have a business in Brockton. I find this building here. I invest in this building. It's a $1 million investment. Then now those neighborhoods try to stop me invest my money. I don't know why.
Mr. Caesar, name and address, please.
Sure, Carlos Caesar, 367 Frost Street. I was not going to speak today because I was not going to repeat myself from the last meeting when I spoke. But I heard a couple of things already that made me speak. Number one, I never heard no one in here saying that they don't want this business because the gentleman had any issue on the past. None of that. I didn't hear. So let's put that out of the way because we're not in here opposed because he had whatever he had. I don't know. I don't want to know. The problem is the business that he's trying to open. It's a problem in the neighborhood. It's been a problem on my neighborhood. It's a problem in any neighborhood. Number two is the fact that, and I'm sick and tired of hearing people coming to my city and tell me to move away. I'm sick and tired. Okay? Number three, we can, after the problem, we can resolve the problem. It's ways to resolve. Yes, it is ways to resolve. It's calling my police department, putting more burden on my police department. It's cases that I need to contact a lawyer. That's going to cost me $1,500 just to walk in the door to explain what my case is. Okay? And more and more and more. So, the problem is nothing to do with this gentleman. I wish him a lot of luck, that he could open a lot of business. The problem is that location being and coming back with the same thing. That's the problem. You want to open a furniture store there, everybody will be happy.
It was one thing.
But the problem is, this kind of business, it's not good for a neighborhood. I'm pretty sure if a neighbor has a complaint about a person yelling at 2 o'clock in the morning that the friends don't want to leave and they want to party outside, if the neighbors complain to the owner, is the owner going to tell him this person will never be allowed inside? No, it's not good for business. But then they have to contact a lawyer, and they have to open a case, and they have to fight. And it's no need for that. We have plenty of empty stores, yes. But can you imagine if a bar opens in every empty store? We need business. But some business kills a neighborhood instead of helping a neighborhood. I said that on the last meeting. I don't want to repeat myself. It was just a couple of things that I want to make clear that I heard on this meeting that I'm not happy with, especially coming from people that don't live in here, don't know the problems we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caesar. All right, if that is it,
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Sure.
I just
Detective
wanted
bonus.
to clarify one thing. I understand that it has been said on a number of occasions that the issues are civil issues. I just want to clarify, the police department's issues isn't so much with the business. As I stated before, I was asked to look into Mr. De Silva's ability to manage a business as a manager, as a business owner, and the issues that I had found were actually, it was public information, again, with the licensing board meeting in Brockton, and our concerns were not so much with civil issues, but more or less with a couple of things that were brought up, which I chose not to mention, but one was the non-approval from the ABCC because there were allegations made that Mr. De Silva was applying for food permits under a business name which he did not have permits for, as well as buying liquor from liquor stores, which you cannot do, has to be through a distributor. Those types of things, along with the COVID violations that occurred with his existing business, were the reason that the department felt uneasy with approving this. That being said, the issues aren't so much with the business. I understand that the residents have their own issues, but from the police department standpoint and the chief's standpoint, we were asked to look at Mr. De Silva's ability as a business owner, to how he would handle and his character in running a business. This was what was brought to my attention, and it was presented to the board, which is why the department, felt to not go forward with a favorable review. I just wanted to clarify that, because I understand that it's not so much traffic violations, that has absolutely nothing to do with the police department's standpoint on this.
But like I said, that day you called me, I told you it wasn't me. It was like the previous owner got the same name on me.
Okay.
It is not me.
In this report, unfortunately, all I have is
Yeah,
what
because
was-
I never go to the liquor store.
Okay.
Always for the April 18 2018 until now, I got all of my stack of the received I got for the distributor.
Okay. Again, I did not have an opportunity to speak with the licensing board in Brockton. I made a number of attempts to reach out to them. I wasn't able to speak with them personally, so all I have is information that I found, and that's what we're going off of. I mean, it's something that we can certainly continue to pursue until we've had an opportunity to speak with the licensing board, but this was just public information that I found that just highlighted a couple of things that the department had concerns as far as like your character for a business owner manager. That was all.
Yeah, because I have the people that the lady, her name is Patricia.
Mhm.
She's the owner of the ABCC.
Yep.
She's the owner that signed all the license and violation. She don't send me this letter. It said anything to tell you to contact her because on
Yeah, I'll
violation I
gladly
have
take
it.
that information. If you
Yeah.
have it, I would gladly take that.
All right.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a suggestion here, which is probably not going to make anyone happy here at this point. But again, I can't, the board was provided with information today. There was some information that they did not have going into this meeting. We also met as quickly as we could late this afternoon with Mr. Hathaway, the building inspector. Okay, Mr. Hathaway would like to vet the drawings, do a site visit to the building. This was his request, and also review the property across the way. So while I don't want the board to be, we're past the point, there's been enough information here, we're past the point where it would just be an arbitrary decision. However, in deference to the building inspector, he would like to personally see the outlay, the seating, all of that's in there. So I am going to suggest to my colleagues, I mean, they don't have to follow the suggestion, but that we at least, for one more month, let the building inspector do what he has to do and report back to us with the information, and again, the numbers of seating and whatnot. I do understand what you're telling me. You've edited or you've modified the initial
Oh, yes.
seating plan, because I did go through that over the weekend. I believe it was in excess of 160. So now you're telling me we're down to 90 some odd
Yeah, I
seats,
told the board that we'd be coming back with a pared-down floor plan.
Okay.
And I think the original numbers were just the architect or the engineer doing some calculations and trying to come up with a maximum number. I don't think he put much thought into, realistically, how many people can you fit in the building? How many people can you accommodate in a restaurant.
Yep.
And now that number is 96 maximum.
Yep. Well, I'm throwing that suggestion out to my colleagues, and again, we get Glenn involved to do a site visit. It sounds like we had an unsuccessful site visit the first time around, so hold on, Attorney Frank, I'm willing to also attend with Mr. Hathaway. I mean, obviously, his expertise would be an enlightenment to me. I'm not someone who's familiar with capacities and fire codes and the amount of, what we need for spacing and whatnot.
He's in full agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like
That's
I
not a
say,
problem.
I don't want to go to put the line on a parking lot to spend more
No,
money.
I understand that, and I'm
Because
more.
I already put 18 grand on it,
And
nothing's
his,
happening.
and his concerns, Mr. De Silva, I don't mean to interrupt you, but his concerns are also, I don't believe he's done a proper vetting of the facility inside. And like I said, in fairness to this board, I mean, we were given these drawings today. I don't know if they're, I'm also not a tradesman. I mean, they don't appear to be stamped by an engineer and whatnot. I'm not suggesting that's a requirement, but I'd feel more comfortable with Mr. Hathaway going through this. The other suggestion, and I'll let our gentleman speak, hopefully our last speaker, but I don't know if it's customary for the, and I'm just, again, thinking off the top of my head. I don't know if it's customary for a board to take an application and then essentially try to play middleman with the hours between the neighborhood and the applicant. It sounds like, 9 to midnight and 1 o'clock and whatnot is a bit of an issue. I have no idea whether, if the applicant is amenable to any sort of a revisiting of his request, so to speak. But again, I mean, from what I've heard from the neighbors tonight, I mean, they are right in the sense that most restaurants don't have hours from 9 in the morning till 1 at night. So I don't necessarily think that it should be up to this board to be, judge, jury, executioner, so to speak, and say, you know what, we're good with this particular time, but maybe that is something, if you folks choose to, that may be something that you may want to look into and work with Kerry and whatever you choose to do. Take, I think you know what I'm trying to say, so take it for what it's worth. Yes, sir.
I'll
Do you have-
defer.
Okay. Colleagues, any motions?
I have to just say one thing,
Oh.
depending
Yeah.
upon how many people attend the site visit, we have to schedule a meeting. I'll have to schedule a date and a time. I don't know if the other ladies want to go as well.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'll have, okay.
Okay, so we'll, whatever we have.
Right,
regarding
I'll
open
speak with
meeting.
Arthur and that, and Glenn as well.
And Glenn as well,
Just wanted
okay.
to make it known, okay.
And because quite frankly, I think the more information, the better to make a determination on this matter. Obviously, emotions are high, and again, I do agree, we don't necessarily want to hold the applicant for the sins of the past business owners, but everybody's entitled here to an expedited decision. I understand it's been lingering since November. I'm hoping at the March meeting, one way or another, we can come to a finality here. So, anything else, Ms. Clerk? Can I get a motion
Yes.
then to?
Yeah, I will make a motion to table this to the next meeting, which is March 23rd,
I'll second the motion.
this
So-
way here.
Yeah.
They can meet with,
Building inspector and
Building
whatnot,
inspector
and conduct the proper
Right.
site visit.
we'll do
So motion has been made by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
aye.
The ayes have it. Motion passes. We'll see everybody again in March.
We'll actually see everybody at the site visit,
At
which
the
will be,
site
which will be
visit,
before the
yes. Well, I don't
23rd.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Neighbors.
I'll get a date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta
What's that?
speak to Arthur.
Everyone's getting off.
Okay.
It's tomorrow, I'm off.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, but
you.
she has to post it though.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Can I show Moni's,
Take the edge off,
Thank you
man.
for coming.
Tricia?
When the cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
folks, old and new business. I don't know if we have anyone here. Should put my glasses on. So again, we've dealt with item A. Item B is the approval, and I believe Kerry has said signature of the minutes from the December 15th licensing board meeting 2021. Can I get a motion to
Yeah, I'll
approve?
make a motion to approve, and we have to sign
That's
the
everything.
December 15, 2021 meeting.
And I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Ms. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. I'm assuming we can sign after the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. And
Now
I don't.
make a motion.
And item C, ratify the one-day permit of the Spirit of Santo Church, 2/19/22.
Make a motion to ratify the one-day permit to the Espiritu Santo Church, which was held on the second, February 19, 2022.
I'll second the motion.
So motion made to ratify the one-day permit by Mrs. Esposito, seconded by Ms. Cadero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Thanks, everybody.